Well, it's time to find out where the old New Holland square baler is going to tie bales. Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So the other day I worked on this old wire tie baler, and I worked on the cutting clamping mechanism back here and the wire twisting mechanism that twists the wire. This is a wire tie baler. It does have two spools of wire back in here that feed through and tie the bales. It's an old baler, 1958, 1959, that time frame. And a lot of people don't use wire no more on bales because I think it's just kind of a hassle to deal with and have to get rid of. Plus you don't want your animals eating little bits of wire. But this is the baler that we have. So I think I've got everything set up now, and hopefully it's going to work today. So I've already got the hay raked in the field. It was cut a little over 2 days ago, and it's dry and ready to bale. So now I just need to get the wagon hooked to the back of this and we can get started.
Oh my goodness. So I thought it'd be a good idea to ride on the hay trailer while we came out here to the field. And when Evan made the wide turn by the pond, the chute here went underneath the wagon. I obviously was not paying attention because all I started hearing was cracking wood. I thought the trailer was falling apart with me on it. And so this board popped up, this wood split, and then this popped off the trailer. It scared me to death. Unfortunately, it got me screaming on camera.
Like a little girl. I can't wait to review the footage. So this field is orchard grass mostly. There's a little bit of alfalfa in here. Can you hear that? It is dry and it's got some good color. Still got some green in it. It's got some good color. So we're gonna start baling that up. So in the past, anytime I've had trouble with this wire tie baler, it misses a tie or something, you end up with these bales you throw back on the ground, and you end up with that wire left over in your hand, and then I would just wad it up, and I'd end up with a stack of wire on this trailer. Every time if I was having a bad day, I'd have a big stack of wire on here. So I decided to take an old bucket, I screwed it down, and this is like my trash can. So at the end of the day, we should be able to see how much wire we actually have, and that will determine how bad of a day we had. But let's go ahead and get baling. So Rebecca's gonna be driving the TYM and I'll be on the back stacking bales. Didn't quite tie right. The right side tied the first two bales together, and then the left side tied both bales, but the first one was just really loose. Of course, that's gonna be normal with an empty chamber because there's nothing to press against. Yeah, we'll have to spread that all out. It is good looking hay though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does look good. I don't think people realize how much hay is in one bale because there's two bales sitting here.
Yeah.
And it's a lot when it's all loose.
Yeah.
We're gonna lay this out into a windrow somewhat so we can pick it up. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. It's still like breaking instead of twisting. Well, I made a small adjustment to one of the wire clamps, and it's doing good. So hopefully we can run the rest of these no problem. See, I shouldn't have said anything. The next one messed up. Well, the wagon isn't completely full, so we came over to the next hay field. And this is red clover mostly, a little bit of meadow fescue and orchard grass, and we're gonna just bale enough to go ahead and fill the trailer out. All right, we got all the hay unloaded, and the clover bales from the second field, they were a little green. They weren't dry enough. So we've got them kind of spread out. We've got some laying here on the tongue, got a few on the ground here. This is a dry spot right here. But other than that, we've got them kind of spaced out in rows. So they're going in rows. I got a couple stacked here on top, but mostly it's just rows here on the wagon so that they can dry. And then we got all our hay stacked in the dry hay stacked in the back of the barn. But only one hay wagon today, and it wasn't like a extremely stacked hay wagon either. So square baler did not run very good, but at least we do have a few more small square bales. They do come in handy, and we do have a few people that we do sell a few of these to. But I think tomorrow we'll come back and we will end up cutting. It's been a long day. We'll end up baling the rest of that field. We'll rake it over probably one more time and to turn the hay over, and then we'll round bale it. So it's the next day, and I came out this morning and I've rolled the windrows over, and then I rolled them into each other to make a bigger windrow for the round baler to pick up. So if you look at the hay now, remember this is red clover and red clover, a little bit of orchard grass, some meadow fescue, and it seems like it's fairly dry now, so I think we can finally get this baled today. If there's any of it that is still maybe a little bit wet, it'll be what's over here against this fence line because of the shade. Anything that might be in the shade, there's a possibility it didn't dry as quickly. So that's the very outer row. That's what we'll end up baling last today, and we'll start here in the middle. So I probably spent about an hour and a half going through the Gehl round baler. This makes a 4x5 bale, and I went through, greased everything, checked all the sensors, and then it was low on hydraulic fluid in there, so I got that filled back up and pressurized back up, and that's what does the bale tension. So hopefully that's all going to work fine. The only trouble we've ever really had with this baler has been the twine knife cutting consistently. Sometimes it gets stuck and it doesn't flip forward and cut the twine. And then the other thing is going to be some of the sensors don't seem to always work, and it's hard to get it to auto tie. So I think I did get it to auto tie once or twice last time, so I'm hoping that I can get that to do that today. Because if it auto ties, that's a lot quicker than me trying to go through and jog it with the controller and try to tie it manually. So it'll just be a lot quicker if it works the way it's supposed to. So let's go ahead and see if we can make some round bales. All right, there's the first round bale. It did not auto tie. I had to tie that myself. It is a little crooked. I think I'm a little big on that side, but I tried to let it go as long as it could. It could never tell the bale size the whole time, and that seems to work intermittently. But I'm gonna go ahead and try auto tie again. Sometimes it feels weird, like after you get the first bale done, maybe it'll start working. We'll see. So I stopped the baler because it was still in manual and I was gonna try to switch it to auto. Well, I stopped it with hay in the pickup, and when I started it back up, it ended up breaking the shear bolt on the PTO shaft here. And this is all the little shear bolt there is. It is a little 1/4-20 bolt. That's it. That's the only thing that keeps this thing going. So I had to go all the way back to the workshop and get more shear bolts. I got a few here, so I've got extra. And then I never could remember what the size was. So I went ahead and brought a black Sharpie marker, and I'm gonna write it on the baler the size of the bolt. So we'll get this fixed, we'll start baling again. All right, the first cutting of hay is done and over with. Everything is baled. So I am happy that it's done. It's been kind of a long week. We've had a lot of stuff going on, and baling hay just happened to hit this week because it's such good weather. We've had 6 days without rain. That never happens during cutting hay. It looks like we're gonna have at least another 4 or 5 more. So it's a pretty long stretch without rain, at least where I live. And the baler, I don't know what the deal is with the baler. All of a sudden, halfway through the field, it thought it started like the bale size started to work. And all of a sudden it thought it had a full bale, and it didn't. It was about a half a bale. And finally it got to the point where it started to auto tie that bale, and I just had to let it tie. And this is the bale that we ended up getting, this one right here. It's probably about a 3-foot diameter hay bale. It's a little bit small, but after that, every bale auto tied. The bale size thing worked, and then it auto tied, and everything worked fine after that. So I have no idea what all of a sudden started working, but it did. So since this hay field wasn't drying very well, I'll probably let these sit on the field for a day or two before I take them back and try to get them stored. And I will probably get a moisture probe out here, and I will probably hit these with the moisture probe and make sure that they're okay. But they felt good this afternoon when I finally baled them up. But it was cool this morning. It was. I was out here in a jacket raking this hay again this morning. It was a cool morning. I think that cool weather definitely slowed down the hay drying. But overall, I don't know if the color, sometimes the color does not show up in the camera very well. But the color of everything, like the hay, it has a nice green color to it and everything. It's not sun bleached or nothing. It's got good color to it, and it looks good. I mean, it looks like a good hay bale. So I think I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out, at least with the round baler. I mean, if I got a manual tie, that's not that big a deal. The twine knife worked every time, so I didn't have to get out and cut the twine. So overall, I'll give the round baler like a B. Got maybe a B plus, maybe. But the square baler definitely got like a D minus, okay? Because the square baler was didn't work very well at all. It missed a tie like every, I don't know, probably every 5 to 7 bales. It seemed like it'd miss a tie at least. And it's a good thing the weather was cool, or else if it was hot and sweaty, I probably wouldn't have had the patience to deal with this square baler. But it's done and over with, and we got hay in the barn, and we won't have to do this again for probably another 5 weeks or so. But I think that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.